Across Russia and newly occupied Ukrainian territories, thousands of Ukrainian civilians have been detained in prisons and makeshift cells since the start of the war. The Associated Press reviewed satellite imagery, interviewed former prisoners, spoke with Ukrainian officials, and obtained documents showing that Russia has plans to build even more detention centers in occupied territories and make it easier to jail Ukrainians deep inside Russia. Survivors report inhumane conditions, forced labor, torture, and executions.
Чтоб я никогда не увижу этот флаг украинский.
Satellite photos from the Rostov region show the pace at which Russia has been expanding its prisons. This photo was taken before the invasion. By October, we can see new construction underway. Rights officials believe hundreds of Ukrainians are now being held at the complex. Some civilians have been detained for weeks or months. Others remain in captivity with no end in sight. Olena Yakupova, the wife of a Ukrainian soldier, was detained for 5 months in Russian-occupied territory. She's now being treated for the injuries sustained at the hands of Russian soldiers. Yakupova says she and other prisoners were used as slave labor, forced at gunpoint to dig trenches near the front lines.
Дети отработают, кто выживет, кто не заболеет, больных пристрелят, кто выживет, тех увезут где-то в среднюю полосу России.
This image shows the trenches Yakupova and other prisoners dug near Zaporizhia, where they were held. Former prisoners also describe being forced to dig mass graves nearby. The Russians have also traded civilians in exchange for their own captured soldiers, another violation of international law. That's how Victoria Andriusha was released. Andriusha was held inside Russia for 6 months. The school teacher says she was accused of spreading anti-Russian propaganda in the classroom. She says she was beaten and tortured in detention.
Мене закривали в окремій камері, в такій підпалювали папір, тобто папір вони підпалювали і відповідно говорили, що ось ми зараз запустимо там газ, тобто ти зараз згориш. Були моменти, коли вони погрожували, що навіть приносили якісь там інструменти металеві, щось там було ще, що ми тебе зараз будемо там різати по частинах, тобто твоє тіло будемо там четвертувати.
A UN report found at least 77 Ukrainian civilians have been summarily executed in Russian custody, but former prisoners say the numbers are likely higher. Many Ukrainian families have been left in the dark about the fate of their loved ones, which the UN says may be a war crime in itself. Roman Vuko was taken prisoner in early March of 2022.
Їх возять з місця на місце. Тобто спочатку це якесь одне СІЗО, потім кудись в інше місце. Якось воно. Навіщо? Я не знаю.
Neighbors told his daughter Anna that the former factory worker was escorted from his home and driven away on a truck with his hands bound. The only information she has received has come through former detainees in Russian propaganda, including this photo of her father from about 6 months ago.
Це стрес великий, бо я кожного дня про це думаю. Вже пройшов рік, навіть більше року. А скільки ще має пройти? Там дуже багато цивільних людей, там не тільки мій батько.